Hello, hello. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. Today we have a special Zoom meeting with the wonderful Irena, who is my teacher, who helped me work on my presentation, public speaking, reducing accent, and what you see on my channel. If you see and you can find my grow. And this is work with Irena in Ismailova's Theater of Dance. So welcome, Irena. Thank you for your time. And today we will discuss emotions from our different perspective. What you can say about yourself?
Um, Hi. So I am excited to be here. Yes, and we met through Marie's company, Ismailova Dance Theater, Theater of Dance, and I teach public speaking and accent reduction. But I'm an actress. I've been an actress for over 20 years. I'm in Toronto. I'm Canadian, and but I've lived in New York, and I've lived a little in London and Vancouver. Um, and it's my life. I have been on stage and in many stages in Toronto and off Broadway, and I've done a lot of film and theater as well, or film and television. I teach theater right now to all ages, to from kindergarten to like the elementary school and also high school as well. I do acting coaching for young adults.
Yeah, your experience is amazing, and all our lessons, they're like filled with emotions. And what I appreciate personally, why I love working with you, because you somehow help me to connect brain stuff, what I want to send informational, with emotions, with body. And I see that we are aligned here. But you're an actress, I'm a psychotherapist, and we have similar perspective on emotions. And it's amazing. Maybe this is the secret of how to be successful actress. I don't know. You can tell me.
I agree with you. It's 100% the way to be successful as an actor or actress, but also as a human being. I think that that's where we really align. I actually heard a quote today, just before coming on here, which made more sense. So much sense is that if we paid attention to our emotions the way we pay attention to Instagram or Facebook, and we woke up every morning to check our emotions, uh, we would probably be walking around a lot happier, or not happier, but we would just be more aligned and more in tuned and have more joy
Yeah,
in our lives, probably. So
yeah, very simple to notice your emotion in the morning, in the evening.
it is. It sounds simple, but I think that you and I've talked about this. Our culture wants to shut it down. We have been trained and socialized in a way to go away from emotions, to control it and move away and move to something called perfection. Like we're all in control, we're okay. And I've heard you talk about this. I've had the same frustration. The term emotional regulation, um, in some ways, makes us feel like the darker emotions are taboo emotions or things that are a bit stigmatized for sure.
Yes, I agree. And today we plan to talk about emotions and try to change perspective. So maybe we can start from these dark emotions, as you mentioned. I agree with you that anger, for example, it's very not very accepted emotion, but I see it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's particularly not accepted for women. We are changing the story around that. But having an angry a woman is or female is considered, or even a teenager or a child in a social setting, people look at the parents and like, oh, your child's out of control, or um, you must be hysterical. It's the age-old thing for females. You're out of control. Whereas, and again, I say this in a stereotypical way, men are a lot more, it's more accepted to do anger, but they are having softer emotions are stigmatized for men. It's still going on, but the dial is moving.
Mhm.
And so what I think is, it's really funny because I think drama class used to be the joke class when I grew up, the one that you get the easy A so that you can pull your grades up. But I think that we're moving in an era where there's so much technology being thrown at us that it's difficult for children, young adults, or even adults to be socially, to read people emotionally, to know what to do with their emotions. We're taught to pack it up and throw it away, and if we have to cry, don't show that. Um, so I think that drama class for me has become a place where we are learning how to be human. Like we need a class to be. I say that slightly facetiously, but I am learning very much that the students that I work with, their emotional intelligence, it's no judgment, but it wasn't where it probably was about 15 years ago. So, and we all have instincts. We're animals essentially, but somewhere about 100 years ago, and I work with somebody right now. I have to mention her, Joe Kelly. The ideas that I am coming forward to are not necessarily all my ideas. Most of them are just things that I've actually I've really learned in the last 6 months working with a woman named Joe Kelly in LA. And she talks about this instinct that we have gravitated away from. And it's the checking in. The more that we have a relationship with our emotions, the more instincts we have, the more we don't need other people to tell us what to do. Right now, everyone's reaching out to figure out what to do because we don't even know how we feel about stuff. And if you had a pyramid, and if we were to put emotions at the top, and actually tune into everything being, all that we feel is everything is good, or neither good or bad, it's all wonderful, then we would be more instinctual, and then we would also just be able to work through our daily life, making decisions, not trying to chase everything all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is very aligned with my perspective, how I see emotion. Again, I said it several times on all my events, workshops, and individual work with families that children was born with this connection. Children, they have a high emotional intelligence level. Before they start talking and understand language, they can feel people. And we all were born with this connection. But then we start going to school and society start to reframe ourselves to being more fit in society. And what I do in my work, and I try to show, to maybe turn lights in this area and to show children, parents, adults that we all have this connection. And why do we need to go back to ourselves? Because we all have these skills, we just don't use them.
100%. Like I can relate to spending several years wanting to get more and more education, because I had a feeling of need of validation. And and then I ended up being like a workaholic because I was constantly trying to reach for something. And right now, it is my returning to my childhood, and being able to come back, decondition myself. It's not to improve, it's deprove. Deprove yourself in some ways, because a child will cry and then they'll get over it. But we don't allow ourselves, we've been conditioned out because we've been in classrooms and a teacher or a principal has wanted to control us for social reasons, for probably good reasons at the time, or our parents want to control us for their own reasons. And the control, what it does is it takes everything that we have deemed as bad. We have this good emotion and bad emotion, and all the bad stuff gets pushed down, but it doesn't go away. And so what happens is because we sit on it. This is for me as an actor, what I'm working with, particularly with Joe Kelly. It becomes sat on, but and then there's all this other stuff, all of this other emotion that is our instinct underneath that will allow us, don't go down that pathway, take that course, maybe you shouldn't be in that job. All that will sit underneath, but this negative emotion kind of caps it. And so what I do as an actress, because I have to be a human being, and a human being has everything, knows depression, knows sorrow and grief. What I want to do is I want to address the emotion. I want to address this capped emotion and go into it and let it live, not get rid of it. Let it live in my body and really go and let it be whatever it is. And my instinct, my brain will try to tell me, my thinking brain will say, you won't survive. Don't go there. You won't survive. But I am not pushing. I'm just letting all of that, what we consider bad, out in my body. And once I get to listen to that emotion, because it tells me something, it's telling me something specifically. And at the bottom, then I can hear the message of what it is. And once I get that real message, that's your instinct. And then the emotion releases itself, not me. It's not my job to push it away. The emotion lives through. And then from that, as an artist, you can have access to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to share my example, my personal experience, how you helped me last week. Remember when I had first interview where I was presented as an expert, and it was my first time and I was very nervous, and you helped me to prepare my part of my speech, because it was a 1 hour interview. We cannot work on the whole part of the whole speech, and you helped me with my accent, with tension, and then you said everything is okay, you almost prepared, however I see the tension on your shoulders, on your neck. And they said, I know what is this tension about. And I shared with you that this tension, because it's my first interview in English, it's not my first language, and I was very scared about it. And I shared with you my fears that everyone tells that I made so many grammar mistakes, and then why you so talking in English? Just go back to your country and speak in your language. And all these unconscious feelings was in my body. I try to ignore them, because for now, for that moment, I need to work on my present pronunciation, on my accent, on my speech, and I need to send it with emotions to audience. And you mentioned the small details. And then you offered me some weird exercise when I was jumping and waving my hands and yelling these phrases. And we did it for several minutes. So after that class, I had an interview, and it was very good. I was calm, and even now, 10 days passed, and even now I feel like that fears are not strong like that they were before. So you see this small details, and it's amazing how you can notice these small details, like some negative emotion, some tension, and this tension, if I ignore it, it will be an obstacle for me to show my best, to
Mhm.
present it in the best way. So what do we need to how you said, go into it?
This, again, like I am, so this is amazing work, and I cannot credit myself. I am using it because it totally revolutionized. Like I have to admit, I was a stuck actress. I I've been acting for a long time, but it hasn't, always like there. I had a block and trying to figure it out, and it was me that was creating it, but I didn't know how to undo it. And so when I started working with Joe Kelly's team, and very quickly, she was the one who has brought this incredible work. And she has a reset. The reset is for everyone, anybody who wants to go, and it's a 33-day reset, and how to go into your emotion. And I've been doing it for probably over 6 months now. So recently, like yesterday, there was a funeral that I was at, and my whole system wants to shut down because I'm conditioned to not go into it. And so what I'm going to do after actually this is I'm probably going to go into I'm going to do one of her freedom exercises to open up. So I'm new with this work, and I think it's amazing work, and it stays with you because um, right, like we just, like I think that the message of emotional regulation is incorrect. That the regulation is about to control, when really, like I said, I don't mean to repeat myself. Emotions are these are your own personal guides, and this is your own personal genius, and what your emotion is, and every emotion is wonderful. It guides you through your life. It's a little bit like your compass. And if you are upset, like jealousy, um, I recently came up with, recently I saw someone be very successful, and jealousy came up for me. And jealousy is not an emotion that we like to see as a society. Oh, don't be jealous. That shows sign of weakness. But allowing myself to feel the jealousy and insecurity and the anger, and then inside the deep sorrow for myself, I was able to navigate, not push it away, but really hear the message of the next step that I need to do in my work. And it's so funny because last week I showed up so much more present in my acting work. And I've been getting people saying, wow, you're like really taking a notch, and your acting is really moving up. And if I pushed the jealousy on the side and ignored it, I wouldn't have heard the information of where I need to go. And that is why every emotion is wonderful and beautiful, but we have been trained as adults, particularly in North America, to push that away. But that is your guide. Those are your
Mhm.
guide, for sure.
Yeah, and it's amazing to hear it. So, for example, from my perspective as a psychotherapist, I'm talking that why it's important. It's about our connection. It's a connection with ourselves. It's about finding our passion, our
Yeah.
talents. It's about having developing our intuition to feel with whom I can be friend, who is not very
Yeah.
good for me. And you are saying that paying attention to your emotion is helping in your career.
Yes. 100%. So there's so many things that so many articles that I've read, that the people who are the highest and most successful, they go and make decisions on the gut instinct. They're not with the brain. The brain likes to tell us a story. And this is also something that I kind of prepared for our chat is I have a very powerful story, like everybody does. We all have tragedy in our life. We all have trauma. That's just being part of human. And so as you grow up, you may have had, like, I don't know, someone slapped you in the face or someone stole something from you. And this thing happens to you, and then somewhere the brain, to protect us, wants to tell a story. So a lot of people, what I've noticed is that I will have a powerful story of, oh, I don't like my mom, or I don't like my dad. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. But that's the brain trying to keep you safe. When you are able to take away the story and go into the emotions, that's your instinct. And the people who have very, very high success, even in history, they go on instinct. They make decisions, and when you ask them, they're like, I'm not sure. I was just going on my feeling on that. And I think a lot of people are afraid of, like, well, what if the feeling is wrong? We have to train ourselves back in, not train, but just listening to ourselves, really, really listening into our heart and the feelings and emotions. I know that the alpha helix, when I was reading about it, when they were discovering the alpha helix, they understood that, I'm going to get it wrong, Crick was his last name. He had an instinct that the knowledge he had in his brain was not good enough. He had to go past his brain to see the vision of the alpha helix. And that was a feeling that he got. And so I think that when you look at success, the highest form is through gut instinct. So, yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. Right now I'm learning about alpha waves, and I was learning for several years ago about theta waves of brain. Yeah, it's very powerful, and it works. It's amazing.
And I also think that what your work is so essential. It's so essential, and we need as many books out there, as many outlets now as possible. And I'm so happy that's why we are aligned, is that I think that the future generation needs support. And you have spoken about it, about this dread that children have for the future. And they do need the tools. We need to now, even Stephen Hawkins talks about it. There's an evolution that we have to go through as human beings, and it's the sixth sense. We have another sense. There's more than five senses. Yes, the sixth sense, but also the other ones of balance and feeling and things like that. We have to develop that sixth sense, and it's not magic. It's something that was in us always. It was just locked out. And when I was little, I talked about this in our session the other day. I was so happy and excited to be a 24-year-old, a 25. I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And children right now, and you had expressed it, how you see many children who dread it. They're not interested.
Yeah, it is so true. I see it on my children. I see it on children with whom I work. They are tired to be students at school. They are tired with work, with tutors, with after-school activities, sports, and then when they see their parents who should work hard, and for most families in Canada, it's hard when only one parent is earning money. If the family uh, two parents, it's hard. So everyone should work, and especially in Canada, especially in Toronto. And children see these struggles, how their parents have to pay their mortgage, rent, and everything so expensive. And as a result, they don't want to grow up. Yes, and I see it when I work with anger issues and with anxiety, because the root cause of it is very often these fears of being an adult, that when I will be an adult, I will struggle with all these social problems that I don't wanna. It is so true. It is so true, and we can
Yeah,
make
and
talking about it.
yeah, there the last thing I want to add, it's we like we you know, in school you have dancing and drama is like the last. I think they're even trying to take out drama in most schools. And you know, maybe there's a little dance. And the French teacher will teach drama and dance and those kind of classes in art because it's thought of on the side. And it is really like uh, there's a wonderful writer, he has passed, Sir Kenneth Robinson, and he talks about it. Um, have we forgotten to dance? Uh, have we forgotten our hearts? Have we forgotten that these are all skills? Being able to balance is a skill. We're so busy trying to chase what it is to have a house and putting all these fears of the future, you know, uh, and it's creating anxiety and it's creating addiction and it's creating mental illness. And we all know that mental illness is on the rise. Um, and so it is, I think, emotions that are so locked down on us that we haven't addressed, and it moves into something very,
Mm-hmm,
yeah, destructive.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It looks like right now is the best time to go back to ourselves and to show our children that what emotions are and how we can understand them, and that when you are angry, it's not that you are a bad person. It means that something in this situation pushed you and you feel angry. And this anger emotion is like an energy. It's pushing you.
Yes,
See something very important. That's why I love anger emotion. I love work with anger issues.
you nailed it on the head. It's not that there's a good and bad emotions. It's energy. It's energy, and if you allow the energy to be, then you're able to you're able to move forward. It's all energy. There's no good or bad. And I want to reiterate what you said. As a parent listens to their child, I think parents, you said this, we're all afraid, parents usually are afraid that their child will never be in control, like they're going to get angry and then that's it. But if you let them do that and you really let them listen to it, it will pass. And by not letting them do that, by trying to shut it down, that's why it stays.
Yes.
Just to remind you, yeah. And also to leave, like to have a happy note,
Mhm.
you know? Hmm.
This is what I felt when you helped me to accept my fears, to say it
Yeah.
aloud, to
Yeah.
scream, to dance, to jump, to wave my with my hands.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I allowed my brain to hear these fears, and then they just disappeared.
And that's because, and I saw the moment at the very end, I saw when you started to laugh and because you started to see the story in it. When you went that big and we went really like operatic, you started to laugh at one point at the end because you could step away and go, this is just a silly story that my brain is telling me. And that you could, that's the movement away. And then you were like, okay,
Okay, yeah, now I can go.
now you can go because you know it's not true. But if we try to bypass that, if you try to go, it's not true, your brain is still working. Your brain is still, well, I don't know. It feels kind of true to me,
Mhm, mhm,
right?
mhm.
And
Our
that is
body feels.
our body still feels it, right? we're trying to skip a step. We're trying to skip a lot of steps. And we're all trying to be perfect. And what it is it's shoving the darker emotions down because we all have this like this happiness, this be happy, be joyful. But what's happening is just shoving it all down because we don't want to address it. And we have this mask on, and then we're like, why are we feeling depressed?
Yeah.
Why do we feel like we want to drink and go out and do things, right? Why do we
Yeah.
feel stressed? Oh no, I can't feel stressed. I can't feel angry at my boss. And so it becomes more and more. And that's what's happening because we want, and I'm not blaming social, I use social media a lot, but there's this image of, and I know this is a huge topic, we could talk for hours, but there's this thing about social media of always look good, always be happy. Even if we know this, we we still look to it. Oh, you know what? So and so looks like their LinkedIn looks great. I got to have my achievements over here.
Mhm. I think we always have these feelings. For example, before it was what my neighbors will think about me, what others will think about me. Now it's social media. It's about mental age. So we have
Yeah.
different mental age stages of our mental growth, and in some age, it's important for us what others think about me. But
Yeah.
then we can overcome it, and then it's okay. It's only their opinion. They can think, but I can have my own opinion. I can think differently. How do you think? What is the most important emotion or important message about emotion?
Radically accept all of yourself. Everyone is already perfect as you are. Even
Mhm.
if you're insecure, even if you seem angry, even if you feel like you're crying, uh, everything that you feel is perfect, and to feel it. And I guess that's the last part is uh, having emotions doesn't mean you're out of control.
Mhm.
You can have an emotional day, and you can still um, you go to work. It doesn't mean that you're hysterical, and it doesn't mean that you are a mess, and that it doesn't mean that you will insult everyone. It means that you're in touch with yourself, and to be in touch with all of yourself,
Mhm.
right? You can go to work and still be angry at your boss. You don't have to insult him. That I mean, there's consequence of that, but you can feel the anger.
Mhm. I hear as you're talking that we need to change norms, that
Yeah.
what norms what we have right now, that they're not healthy, they're not uh, helping us to be ourselves. So not before, for now we have norms that I need to control my emotion.
Yeah.
That is the norm, what
Yeah.
I want to do. But you said that we need to change this norm
Yeah.
to have emotions. It is norm, our norms to have emotions different. It's like different dimension where we can grow in different directions.
Yes. And this is a totally different time for a different talk because this once you have the emotion and you're listening to it, you may hear change, but that's a different talk. That's what people are afraid of, the change that the emotion says. Let's say
Mhm.
in if you're angry at your boss, oh, what do I need a new job? Oh, wait, I have to feed my family, this and that. That's a different chapter in all of this. But for now, the mask is what is not working anymore. It just isn't. And there are ways to work with it. To meditate, and I'm a meditator. I love meditation. Um, it doesn't mean always being calm and being happy.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. Thank you so much, Irena, for this very interesting talk. I can talk with you in hours,
Yeah, I know.
and
I
I'm
know.
glad that you can share with me your knowledge. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything what you know and that you are happy to share with others.
I appreciate it. And again, it's an honor to be here, and I love working with you. It's just a joy.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone who watched this video. Please left some comments if you want, and see you later. Thank you. Bye.